It's I can say it's a bit inspired from my personal life. I'm Israeli, and I've studied cinema in France, and I'm married to a French guy, which is also my DP, by the way. Um, and so this living between two countries and having this cultural problem is something that I know very well. But when my daughter was born, my first daughter was born, I had this period was when I was stuck in France. I had visa problems, and my husband was in Israel, and we used to Skype a lot. And it's from this period that like the film was born in a way, because this feeling of uh, sadness that we used to have when we cut the Skype was really very strong. I mean, before Skyping, everything was fine. And then we used to Skype and suddenly feel so far away, more far away than before. And this one was one of the triggers, but also this period got me to think about these kind of relationships. Of relationships between two people that are in different countries and communicate like this is something that is happening more and more today. And what does it say about couples in general? Um, of course, something about this communication is great because you can stay in touch, and especially when there is a baby, it's a good thing. You want to show him to your husband and all that, but it also has its downfalls, I'd say. It also has stuff that make you feel even more far away. It's quite crazy. I feel it very strong through people that see the film. And a lot of times they think that we filmed it after the corona and the lockdowns and all that. And it's true that I feel that people can identify much more to the film, since a lot of us lived this in the last year. Even people that never did it before, like maybe grandparents, older people, now they're like really, they know what it is, and I feel that they really identified much more to the film. Yeah, for us it's a funny feeling because we didn't know it's going to happen like this, of course. And we weren't wishing for it, but it did give something for the film. When the film got out in France, we felt how the people that were reacting to the film, it was really strong. Yes, so the technical possibilities today, they let us be in contact all the time, which is amazing. It's something that we're not going to say it's bad, right? But then it also shows us, as I said, how much the screen is something that you cannot pass through and you cannot touch. And this is something that in relationships, how sometimes just a small moment of like cuddling, touching each other, maybe even just reaching to the hand of the other person can change the situation. And when you don't have that, I think it's very hard to find yourself through when the problem starts. It can be very hard to find each other, and when the screen is separating them. I used to call when we were working on the film with Elise Ben Ruby, the scriptwriter, I used to say it's like the wall of separation, the screen. It's like something, it is there and you cannot change it and you cannot go through it. You know what I mean? It's like um, it's hard. Yeah. So. Completely. I mean, I think we can feel it a lot. Also, for example, not only with the Skype, but for example, with WhatsApp. You know how when you get the WhatsApp, when you send the WhatsApp, and then you're looking if the person has seen. Do you have the nice two blue spots that show that he's seen the message? And if he's seen it, why didn't he answer? And all these kind of technical things that can be good for some stuff can really make you crazy. I mean, because it seems like you have more control but actually you don't have any control if you compare it to the real life situation of just meeting someone face to face. And you can't really know what's going on there, right? I mean, you just saw a hand passing me a coffee and I tell you, but maybe it's not my mother, maybe it's my lover, or whatever. You can't really know what it is. And of course, we play with this in the film. It was one of the things that we needed to find ways to talk about these relationships. Also, what were these relationships before the film? And to show stuff. And because the film is like very, we're all only on these Skype frames, we had to find ways to show things about their relationships in other manners. So this is one of them as well, to show this jealousy, to show like you can feel a bit what were they before and how it's changed now. I mean, I think you can tell a story. You choose how to tell your story and who are your characters. But here it's true that we wanted to speak about this couple, that there is a lot of things that separate them, but they are united in the beginning. Okay, and all these things that can be very beautiful in a couple. The fact to have two languages, to have two cultures, families from very different background. They even have two religions, and so many stuff. It can be something very rich for a couple, for a family. They are a young family, and it can be very rich. But in the film, the more we advance in the film, we see how all these differences start to be like something that come between them and start to you see more and more how these differences are separating between them. And the fact that she is like as you said in the beginning, she's more out there, and then afterwards it's him. This is one of the things that make them even make it even harder for them to find each other. And once again, for us, the idea was to show this relationship that kind of like deconstructs during the film in front of our eyes. And all of these participated in the deconstruction of the relationship. On the other hand, regarding their differences, there is also this thing that I know very well, which are the differences between France and Israel, related to their families, especially. And it's something that, yeah, I mean, I really wanted to show, or to kind of like, I mean, I'm not trying to generalize saying that all Israeli families are like this and all French are like that, but it was a way to kind of like maybe show aspects of difference between France and Israel that can make me laugh and sometimes can make me cry too, it's just, yeah. First of all, the baby, of course, it came with the idea of the film, because I think if there was not the baby, I'm not sure they would Skype that much. Not with the video, anyway. It's like an excuse for seeing each other on the video all the time, and for being even more jealous, or for being even more paranoid, on what's going on. The father that want to see that the baby is fine and all that. But it also let us speak about them as new parents, which is, I think, a period when you become parent. It's a period in life where everything seems very stressful, and you're like asking yourself more and more. You're thinking about your past. How were you when you were a baby? And also you think about what are you becoming, and like Yuval, that doesn't have his job really clear yet. I think it's much more stressful since he has become a father. It's for me, I mean, I lived it that way. And regarding the families, as I said, we don't want to generalize and say they are all the French are like that or like that. But on the French side of it, Nomi Lvovsky, it was the idea was to have this woman alone and quite sad, and also that you feel that she wasn't the best mother in the world. And it also gave us the possibility to tell you something about Julie, and about her fear to become like her mother. And this thing really pushes her, and the fact that she doesn't want to be alone with her son, it pushes her also to accept much more than normal from Yuval, because she doesn't want to find herself alone. On Yuval's side, the family is like very present, maybe too much there, you know, they dare to, and I think it's funny, it's not only the family, even his friends, you see how much they do not respect the privacy of the couple. And someone told me this lately, and it's true. I think in Israel there is something like that. That you have much less. I mean, yeah, people are just, they mix everything together. Everything is mixed, family and work and friends and all that, and couple, and so nothing has borders that are very clear. In France, I do think things are a bit more clear, you know. And here, yeah, everything mixes up, which means that his family and his friends can just, you know, say whatever they want, and they will come inside the frame whenever they want, and they will not kind of try to feel if this is the right moment for the couple, which can be very annoying, you know. Yeah, it was really important for Judith, especially. I was looking for someone that can like really, you know, keep intensity in the frame all the time, because she is alone, almost always alone in the frame. I mean, it's something that you don't see in other films. Usually there will be interaction, and she's like really alone. And I knew that Judith Shemla, which I know, of course, from other films, I knew that she has this flavor and this capacity to be really like present, and to give us this impression that there are a lot of stuff going in her head. And yeah, I think she really has this capacity of occupying the space, which was like physically what I needed, you know, because she was alone in the space. I mean, except of course the little child, which is a great casting as well, I think, but something else. And for Aryeh, well, it was quite a funny story, because I looked for an Israeli guy that speaks French. And there were not many possibilities, especially not in this age. And I had like not I met two guys, and then yeah, and then someone told me that Aryeh, which I knew from the film Girl, where he acts the father, and I really liked him in this film. And someone told me, listen, he speaks Hebrew, and that was like a breakthrough for me. It was amazing. He's actually, so he's Jewish, and he went to like Jewish classes and stuff, but also his grandparents come originally from Israel, and they came back to Israel a few years ago, so they live here now. And the grandfather in the film is actually his grandfather. So yeah, so this was like really nice also for them, I think, to kind of like, yeah, first of all, be together, but then also like play together. And all, he's not an actor, but yeah. So yeah, it was great to have this possibility to shoot with these two actors that are both amazing, I think. In terms of inspiration of the story, we thought a lot about Revolutionary Road. Revolutionary Road. I saw it again when we were writing, and I love this film. I mean, it's very strong, I think, in terms of how to, the thing is how to kind of like let this couple occupy all the space, even though in Revolutionary Road they have, they're filming in a classic way, so they can go wherever they want, but the couple is in the middle, and their story is what is going on the whole film. And you're like that. I mean, it's a film that you cannot stop watching, right? So there is this. I think there were maybe a few others. And in terms of um, technical inspirations, like you said, the horror films, I didn't watch those. I knew that I don't want to have to show the screen. This idea of having the point of view of a Skype, but never showing the Skype, never having anything that shows it, was a very crucial for the film. It's something that I knew from the beginning. It was also something that influenced the way we worked and everything. And so it meant that I don't have an inspiration that is direct, but I did look again a little bit at her, which in this sense has also this kind of thing where you do not see the other side. So you see how someone is alone in a space inside a relationship. So it was really interesting to look at that again as well. No, we thought about a lot of possibilities, even about filming through Skype, which of course is impossible. And we even thought about having two teams, but I wanted to be in both, so that was a problem. What we did actually is that in the French apartment, we constructed the Israeli room of Yuval. Only the room, but that gave us around 10 or 12 scenes that we filmed in the beginning of the shooting. And then we had two cameras, and each camera had a small screen, and each of the actors had a small ear whatever, they could hear each other.
Earpiece, yeah.
Earpiece. And so they had this kind of system that was imitating Skype in a way. We were filming them simultaneously in these scenes. And because it was in the beginning, it helped us to kind of like create the atmosphere, the relationship between the two. And what was, and we were rehearsing a little bit before, but what was really interesting to see is that they really needed this separation and the screen between them to really like act this and feel real about it. It really helped them on the screen, actually. And yeah, so we had a few of the scenes like that. And later on, we filmed also in playbacks, and sometimes with nothing in front, meaning like the actor was acting in front of nothing, just either getting the lines or either nothing at all. Sometimes it was better. I really chose the way in regarding to each scene and what does it need.